Hey, I'm Zach McDonald, your real estate agent here with Real Property Associates. And today's question that every home buyer should ask is, when do I get to sign? What am I signing? And what should I bring to that signing appointment? So this is all wrapped around the closing process. Now, as far as when you sign, typically you're going to sign 2 to 4 days prior to closing. This is the ideal time frame. It gives you as the buyer time to pick the date and time that works best for you, and it's the least stressful, let's be honest. Now, sometimes that signing date is closer to the closing date. Sometimes it's even the morning of, and that happens more regularly if you're on a tight closing schedule. So if you're doing a 21-day close or an 18-day close, and you have loan documents, usually we're bumping right up to the end. Or maybe there was a last minute issue with the loan and now we're scrambling, and that does happen, so it's not always perfect. I wish I could say that every single closing was super smooth and super perfect and it was always that 2 to 4 day timeline. But that would be the gold standard, right? You have the opportunity to take a deep breath and not be rushed at the end. Now, as far as what you're going to sign as a buyer, you're going to be signing the loan documents, the biggest things, right? Loan documents and the deed of trust, indebting you to the lender. You'll probably have you initial a copy of the deed as well. You're essentially, though, indebting your life to the lender. That's your biggest task there at the signing appointment. And you're gonna have a stack of documents like this big. It's super fat. The fat stack, right? And then the last thing there is what you need to bring to the signing. And you're definitely going to want to bring a photo ID. That's the biggest thing. You're going to bring your photo ID. Now, a lot of people will bring a cashier's check. Can't bring a personal check, but you can bring a cashier's check to pay the remaining funds that you have that are owed. You can also bring a copy of the purchase and sale agreement just in case you need to check things. You can usually see that on your phone, so I don't usually recommend bringing a copy of that. You can just pull up your phone and find the email or whatever. Now, the other thing to note is that you can also wire in your remaining funds. You don't actually have to bring a check. So sometimes people will, and actually a lot of times people will just prefer to wire in the money, and that just needs to be done before the closing date or even on that morning. But the sooner you do it, the less stress there is at the end, because if that wire doesn't get in, now we might not be closing on time. So big picture here is signing typically 2 to 4 days prior to closing. Your big job as the buyer there is going to mainly be the loan documents. It's a lot easier process if you are paying cash. And then what you're bringing to closing is going to be your photo ID and your payment if you prefer to do it that way.